Pat, you've been a part of these Thursday night games for a few years now. Do you ever feel like you're as prepared for a Thursday night game as you would if the game were on Sunday?
Yeah, I feel like you get prepared. You definitely have to do a lot more on this Monday and Tuesday. I've had a long day yesterday, and I'll have a long day today as well. But I try to do whatever I can to get everything in that I get on a normal week. Just knowing that it's going to be a long kind of Monday and Tuesday where you can kind of take Wednesday to kind of recover and get your body right for the game.
Has much changed with the Chargers, what you can see defensively since the last time you played?
Yeah, I mean they obviously do some different stuff. They have a good game plan defense, I guess you would say in a sense. Is each team that you could see that they kind of have a flavor for. They have an understanding of what they're trying to do. And so for us, I'm sure they'll try to do some of the stuff they did the first game they played against us, but they'll have a change up for us that we'll have to adjust to in game.
Patrick, how much do you feel like that game sort of symbolized the early season struggles you guys had with the turnovers and everything, and that it was out of character for what you guys have been?
Yeah, I mean, we had definitely the turnovers hurt us that game. I mean, we had like 28 points with like 4 turnovers. So, I mean, we were moving the ball and getting drives going, but we didn't execute and didn't find ways to finish those drives with points. And for us, it's kind of something we battled through early in the season, and hopefully this game we can cut those out, still drive the football, and find a way to get points at the end of those drives.
Asking Andy about whether or not the offense and the defense they've come together. Do you feel like you all, minus the games against the Raiders where you scored 40-some points, that you all are clicking in the manner and the direction that you like to see going in the Thursday game?
Yeah, I mean, I think we could obviously keep playing better and better. You want to keep building as the season goes on. I think the defense is playing really good right now. Offense, we're still kind of some games great, some games just average. So I mean, for us, it's going to be us going into play a good defense like we're playing on Thursday, playing our best football because we understand it's going to be a dogfight, and we're going to go out there and play our best football if we want to win.
Patrick, as one of the team's leaders, and obviously we see what COVID is doing right now around the NFL, 30-plus players tested positive yesterday, including Josh Gordon. What is your message as one of the leaders to the guys to not get complacent and to continue to take this seriously?
Yeah, I mean, when you know you're down this stretch run, you have to take it seriously because you want to be available. It's just kind of like any other injury that you would get at this point. I mean, you want to try to do whatever you can to be available for the team, and that if that means having to kind of distance yourself in the locker room or distance yourself when you're back home with your family, you have to try to do that. We understand that it's kind of became part of the world. It's something that you can't really control at all the time. But do the best you can to kind of help yourself and help the guy next to you to be available for your team, and so you can go out there and hopefully win football games.
How much does it help that the short week is with a division team as opposed to like a one-off in the NFC or even the AFC?
Yeah, I mean it's kind of tough either way, but at least you have a familiarity with the defense that you're going up against, a team that you've played before, a team that you studied a little bit in the off season, and you have an understanding of the defensive concepts that they're going to run. But I mean that's a good defense with a good scheme, so we're going to have to play our best football, like I said, if we want to win.
Patrick, how much do you feel like momentum carries over from one game to the next?
Yeah, it can. I mean, if you utilize it the right way, you also don't want to come complacent with you play good and kind of have that relaxed feeling. You want to make sure that you still go to work during the week, try to make yourself better. And I think we have the guys that can do that and understand that, so that we can go out there and hopefully play another good football game.
Obviously, the Raiders defended you guys a little bit differently than a lot of teams have. And I know last time you said the Raiders, it wasn't quite as different as maybe a lot of us thought it was, but do you still have elements of the way you played against that defense that does carry over against some of the deep shell stuff that you've seen most of the year?
Yeah, I mean, they were kind of the original. If you look back to when Gus Bradley was at the Chargers, they were the original defense that kind of sat back and try to make us drive the entire field. And so, I mean, I think you've seen me have success against that defense this year out of all years because I've had to deal with it kind of the entire season of be patient and take the stuff underneath. And so I think, guys, we just executed really good at those 2 games that we played against them. So it'll be a similar concept that I'm sure that they'll try to do to us this week. We'll play some shell coverages and stuff like that, but I'm sure they'll come up and play some man coverage as well. And I think guys just have to execute, and we have to not turn the ball over and go out there and score points.
In terms of the offense, Patrick, because it was so early and because the game went the way it did, how much does it help that everybody can probably watch the tape of that game and realize, they have a chance to have some redemption on Thursday night, not just you separately? Yeah.
No, I mean, the entire offense understands that. I mean, we had a chance, especially late in the game, to go down there and score points and win it. And we just we kept just turning the ball over. If it was interceptions, fumbles, or whatever it was, So we understand that we have another chance at it now, and it's a big game, kind of at the top of that AFC West division, and it'll mean a lot as you try to get into the playoffs. And so we'll come in with that mentality of trying to play our best football, executing at a high level, and trying to have the intensity to go out there and win the game.
Patrick, you kind of alluded to extra attention to Travis Kelce, a little bit of added physicality this year. How have you seen him fight through it, and maybe what can you do to kind of help him find a way to get him open here?
Yeah, no, I mean he's always had to battle through a lot of contact. I mean, he's such a big guy that sometimes he gets wrapped around there and it kind of gets called on him. But he's just trying to run his route, and so he understands that. He tries to fight through. And he tries to just compete at the end of the day. And I think we're trying to do a good job of moving him around and not letting him get stuck in one position to try to get him open. But I think the best thing about him is, I mean, obviously he hasn't had that big game in a couple weeks here that we're used to him having, but he's getting other guys open. And he understands how to do whatever it takes to win, and that's the type of leader he is.
Couple more guys go by, and Steve.
Patrick, Andy was asked a little bit about being the 50th anniversary of his punt, pass, and kick appearance, and I'm sure you've seen that. I'm curious what your reaction to it was, and if you've ever had any exchange with Andy about it.
Yeah, we've definitely joked around about it a little bit. I actually showed Shane the other day because I saw it on Twitter as well. I mean, it's a funny video. I mean, that he was a prime athlete at a young age, so I'm sure he can still sling it around a little bit.
Patrick, I didn't get to ask you this last week, but the announcement, former Negro Leagues player Buck O'Neal going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. What kind of impact did that do for baseball and also for you as well?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it did so much for baseball. I mean, all those guys that are in that Negro League museum, they did not only did great things for baseball, but for all sports. I mean, it broke that color barrier. It got black athletes into the top professional world where they deserve to be at. And those guys are the reason that I'm standing here today playing football and living out my dream. And it was overdue. I mean, he was such a great player, great coach, scout, whatever he did. I mean, it's something that should have happened a long time ago, but I'm glad it finally happened.
Okay, thanks, Patrick.
Thanks, Patrick.